Okay, hello and welcome to Songs of Conquest, where we are going to be playing one of the maps added as part of the Roots DLC, Creeping Borders. And on this map, we start off with just one town right in the center of the map, and we are surrounded by 4 different players who each start off with 2 towns. So it's obviously not the most nice of starting positions, but we are going to be trying out a really weird and wonderful strategy, one of the most unique strategies I think I've ever seen on this game. Really more weird than wonderful, and I'm definitely more of a student of this strategy than a master of it. I still don't quite know how it plays out in practice, but we're going to give it a proper go. So let's actually play as yellow. We're going to actually pick our main hero as Grunt, and Grunt comes with a seed of the Mother as one of his starting troops. He has the +1 hex root spread to Seeds of the Mother and +1 troop movement, and for those who don't know, this is the strongest unit, the only tier 3 unit of the Roots, and it's a very unique and weird unit. It's immune to magic, including beneficial magic, and it kind of buffs the units surrounding it based on how far its roots spread. So the +1 hex to its root spread is going to make those units a lot more effective, but in the early game, he starts off with just one of those units. They're pretty passive units, can't really achieve too much with them, and 3 fungi, which are extremely basic tier 1 units. So we're actually not going to pick Grunt as our starting wielder, with this being Songs of Conquest. It's not like Heroes of Might and Magic 3. We don't have to roll the dice on who we recruit as our second wielder. We do have a choice of who we recruit. So I actually think it's better, I'm not sure I'm right about this, but I think it's better to start off with Honey as our starting wielder. And that is simply because he comes with 7 lobbers, which are pretty solid range units, pretty basic, pretty reliable. And he also comes with the default +1 wood and stone per turn, making him a pretty good wielder for getting us some momentum, which we're going to need being surrounded by all of these different players. So yeah, this is going to be a multi-part series. I am expecting this map to take some time, so do check the playlist link in the description for all further parts. Alright, let's jump in. Okay, so here is our starting location. We can see we have the Tree Mother here. It is a full potential town. We can grow it all the way to tier 5. For that, we just need a lot of wood, a lot of stone, and a lot of gold. But we've already got at least some income for both wood and stone. So yeah, I do think Honey is a good choice of wielder. In order to recruit Grunt, we are going to need to grow this town to tier 3 or find another town to conquer. In the meantime, let's go and pick up some resources as soon as we can. So 700 gold, that is not enough to build anything except the guard tower, which I'm hoping we don't need just yet. Okay, plus 400 gold, that's good. Yeah, we don't want to be relying on guard towers immediately. I know we are surrounded, but I'm hoping we do at least have a bit of time. I think Bone Scimitar is going to get outclassed too quickly. Let's go for gold. And what can we go for now? So, planning out our town, we definitely very urgently want to get our hands on the womb in order to produce Seeds of the Mother. So yeah, just kind of going through this unit and what it does. It has 150 hit points, default movement range of just 1, but it enhances a lot of surrounding units. So it's immune to spells, which is kind of a negative thing more often than a positive thing, but it does help it against rival wielders. Mother's Embrace means that anything standing on its roots only takes half of the normal damage, which is amazing. Mother's Scorn means it deals damage to all enemies standing on its roots. Symbiosis of Order, that's kind of pretty standard really. And then Grasping Roots means it can freeze one opponent in place, which works really well with Grunt's specialty, because you can actually freeze a melee unit in place 2 hexes away from this unit, basically rendering them useless. So I think it has real potential as a strategy, but it's not necessarily easy to pull off. But yeah, we need the Morass and we need the Fungus Patch. So if we already know we need the Fungus Patch, we might as well build that immediately. Plus we do need some kind of melee unit to help protect our lobbers. Okay, that's all we can do this turn. Let's end the turn there. And we will move to the north where we can see a little bit of wood up for grabs. We'll come back shortly for the resources, for the units even. 4 Ancient Amber. Ancient Amber, seriously important for this town. Very reliant on them. Ancient Amber is the resource we need in order to produce seeds and Roots of the Mother. By the way, another thing, just to kind of show you long term how good this is. I guess we haven't really seen the units in action yet, but it will all become clear as we play through. The other good thing about the... not that. We need the Briar. The other good thing about this strategy is if we do go for Embrace and Crush here, which only costs us 10 amber, we can actually add +1 hex root spread and +1 troop movement, so that combines with the specialty that Grunt already has. So in total, our seeds and roots of the mother will be spreading out their seeds, their roots for 3 hexes around, which is... I'm probably not making much sense if you haven't played this faction before, but that has the potential to be extremely powerful late game. So we are definitely going to try and go for that. Alright, so we know we need the Morass, which requires the Stump in order to upgrade. So we will go for that. There are quite a few other wielders that I would really like to try out for this town, but I do just think Grunt is the most unique choice. Okay, let's end the turn there. Not got too much in the way of movement for now, but that's fine. Let's grab the wood, let's grab the gold. We can now upgrade this to tier 2, which we will do for the additional income. And we do still have enough for the burial mound, potentially. Second fungus patch I don't think we'll go for. Yeah, I guess one problem with this is I do really love the dreads, and I do really love the terrors. The problem is that the umbrage is not required for the womb, and also the burial mound is not really required either. Drudger is required to upgrade this too, and we actually already have... so Drudger provides +1 stone per round. We actually, of course, already have pretty good access to stone. So yeah, I haven't really decided what's best to do here. I guess we could still use a burial mound. We can use the fact that we already have Honey as our starting wielder as an excuse to not rely on those buildings to give us our wood and stone. But yeah, we know we need the Stump, which we're covered for. We probably also do want the Thicket, and this is the other thing that makes me reluctant to go for the umbrage, is I do think that with the 50% of damage being absorbed by the seeds of the mother, I think they pair really well with Chuckers. Incredibly well. Chuckers can also slow our opponents down, so for that we would need the Mulcher. Yeah, I think even though I would love to have these as just kind of our powerhouse unit, I do think overall the Thicket is probably the safer choice, and for that reason we probably do need to go for a Mulcher, which we actually can't afford. We need a bit more gold, and there's nothing up for grabs unless we go all the way west, but that is just wood. We do have some units, but not really enough to take proper fights. We can see something up there too. What is this? Old camp. Okay, let's go check that out. We will go for... I guess we could still go for the burial mound, just because it's something to do, it gets us going. I don't know if we need that long term, but I'm just going to build it. I don't want to waste, I don't want to idle our town so early on into the game, if we can avoid it. Okay, so we go to this, we have a choice between 13 broken vessels and 1200 gold. I actually do think we'll just go for the gold, because then we can continue to construct in this town. We know we need the Mulcher in order to go for the Thicket. We can actually just afford the Thicket now. In order to research lobbers, we need +10, we need 10 wood. That's quite doable. Okay, let's start building the Thicket immediately, and let's return to the town, pick up some units, and we're going to go for our first fight. So if we have a quick look around at what we know, we can see a pile of wood there guarded by an unknown number of troops. We can see actually a Thicket right there, so we could actually just recruit some units from there. Maybe I shouldn't have built the Thicket. But it's one of those things, it's still useful to have the additional units. Plus, if we can find another town, we actually don't need too much from that second town in order to be able to produce terrors and dreads from there. So, other choices, the Stump here is something we want to claim, but we don't actually need to take the fight in order to do so. This is, it looks like it's something, but it's not. Looks like we should be able to get Ancient Amber from that or something. Actual sources of reliable income. So Fruits of the Wildwoods do give us some income. Termite Nest gives us Celestial Ore, and I think it should eventually replenish itself. Gold Mine to the southeast. Not seeing too much to the north. So I think we just have to take whatever fight we can, realistically. We're going to end the turn there. We're going to pick up a few units. So let's go with 26 of these, and we can only afford 3 of these, but that's fine. Let's go for those. And let's go out west. Let's make sure we claim this turn, so that's an additional 150 gold per turn. And the fight with many wolves, it is considered fair, but I'm not really sure what exactly we gain from this. We can reach the old bones and we can explore further to the west. Alternatively, if we go for these wolves instead, there's a much more concrete thing to be gained. We're going to go down to the... this is actually a ledge, isn't it? So we can't climb that. But we can go this way, it's fine. Okay, so this is still under construction. We don't have to worry about anything in our town just yet. Let's end the turn there. As the thicket has been completed, we want to get our hands on a little bit of extra wood if we can. We do reach level 2 with this, so this is going to be our backup wielder, our scout. So actually taxes is just perfect. And we will go for... I think we just have to go for Glimmerweave because we won't necessarily have a reliable source of that long term. And then we'll go for the stones over here, and actually no, there's no way through there. Okay, so where can we get wood quickly? This fight to the south, I imagine, is going to be too tough for us. Stump, we've already claimed. Stone up there, some wood up there, but it's quite well guarded. Yeah, actually not too much wood lying around. I guess we just have to go for the mulcher. And hopefully get that wood in as soon as possible. I didn't think we could reach this, but apparently we can. Okay, many wolves. We're going to go range units in the back. They spawn in the middle, so we don't have too much to gain whether we go to the bottom or the top. Actually, it looks like it's slightly safer in the bottom. Just because one of their units starts closer to the top. Probably doesn't make much difference because wolves have high initiative and high movement. And actually, yeah, the strongest stack is in the middle there. Okay, let's see what we can do. So these can go in and get 2 to 4 kills. Okay, so we have 3 movements. We can go 1, 2, 3. We'd have to move through the zone of control of the 8 wolves to reach the 5 wolves, which is unfortunate. We can try and slow these down. So if we go for Insect Swarm, it's -10 initiative, which we have 30 initiative. These have 43, so that's not quite enough. These are going to give us 2 Creation Essence, which is potentially quite nice. And then these give us Creation and Arcana, so we'll get another 3 Creation, which is not enough to go for Insect Swarm twice. So as much as I hate to do it, I think we kind of have to just go for this attack. Yeah, we take quite a few losses in response. They are in our deadly range. Let's go straight for the attack. We wipe them out, and we could try going for an Earth Block. It's not going to make any difference. I guess we still kind of should go for this just for the little bit of extra damage, and then we will attempt to hold them back using our zone of control, although it probably won't work. I think we just move to here. And then yeah, they do get to move, and oh wow, we just hang on. So important that we did that. Yeah, because we can't get too many more of those units just yet. Okay, let's move in, let's go for this attack, and we do finish them off. Okay, so 6 losses to the fungi, that is absolutely fine. Don't mind that at all. No level up. But we do get to go to the fruits of the wildwoods. This town is nice and busy. We will end the turn there. I do kind of want to save my wood to upgrade this as soon as possible because we want to recruit Grunt. If we upgrade this, it costs Ancient Amber. I don't necessarily mind doing that. Upgrading this is also reasonably cheap, and spawns are a lot better than fungi. Plus, we already have a few of those. We can also even upgrade the thicket. And that is very interesting. Okay, let's see what this gives us. 700 gold and some combat buffs. We'll go for the Glimmerweave here too, which means we can spend our Glimmerweave somewhere pretty freely. So this requires Ancient Amber. Yeah, this one just requires Glimmerweave to upgrade, and a little bit of stone, a little bit of wood. I think I will do this. I will upgrade the mulcher, because we can see a lot of immediate uses for our wood, and then I think we upgrade this too. And perhaps we move up and upgrade our existing units before we take this next fight. So that gives us a bit more Ancient Amber. If we move out to the west, we can see a watchtower. Sword of Giants. The north, we got a pile of wood, Roots of the Wildwoods. I'm not sure what that is. Ancient Amber Excavation. Okay, we know that's super important for our faction. If we look to the south instead, we can see a source of Glimmerweave instead, a Glimmerweave Grove. Okay. So these are useful resources, but more long-term types of resources. I would like to take this pile of wood. I would like to take I guess the archway portal there could be good. Yeah, I think we move up towards that. We're going to ignore this for now, it's not super important. We'll go up to here, we will upgrade. We can't because we don't have enough spots. We need to save a little bit more gold. Okay, we've already done pretty much everything we can with this. I'm not going to upgrade the thicket because it costs us 2 wood. I mean, it's not a lot, but yeah, I really do want to research lobbers as soon as we can. Okay, so movement point situation, we could move slightly further. I think we'll try this. Should still be able to interact with it next turn. But yeah, it's a bit of a 0 turn, unfortunately. Don't really achieve too much with that, but now we have to go slightly further back. Okay, how annoying. Okay, we will upgrade these to spawns, and we will draft... I think we should draft all the units we can. No available unit slot for this, but yeah, I think we go for these, and we will upgrade these, and we can afford 6 more of those. So that's now a reasonably good stack. And I think we will... We don't know how tough this fight's going to be. It shouldn't be too tough. Yeah, just an assembly of militia. We want to try and rush those down. Want to protect the lobbers. Although, they're still better off in front. Okay, let's try this. So yeah, it should be very straightforward for us. They will have to move in order to shoot our fungi if we go up to here, plus we have the higher ground to help us defend. Then these will move across to here. Not able to shoot these units. 19 of them in that bottom stack, which is something to be careful of. I think we stay put. Okay, they both choose to focus on the fungi, which is perfect. We want these in the back just to give us a bit of symbiosis, a bit more essence generation, and yeah, it should now just be a case of tearing them apart with the fungi. These are in range of this stack. They both have to reload, so happy for them to do that however they please. These skip their turn. Okay, probably want to kill off the stack of 14 if there's anything we can do to stop these doing something to us. So Clouded Vision's probably not going to work, they're a little bit too close, unless we try going around. We could try that. So these things have 3 movements still, so 1, 2, 3. I don't think we drop their range by enough. Okay, 4 to 14 kills. Plus 50% melee resistance doesn't help us too much. Psychic Spear's not going to do too much damage. I'm going to try this, let's just see what difference it makes. So yeah, they will have to move in order to attack us, that's probably the best we can hope for, and then we will weaken these a bit. Slow them down. Slow these down too, although it doesn't really achieve too much. Then we go for the attack. Most of them are killed off. We can finish them off with this. If we go a step forward, we're not close enough to go for the attack on the other militia. So yeah, we'll finish these off, and stack of 9 will be able to reach us, but they have to move first, so they do less damage. 5 to 9 kills. We don't really need to rush into this. We can go for the Spore Cloud, which at least allows us to avoid retaliation. Then these move forwards, and go for the attack. They do manage to get a kill with that last remaining unit, but never mind. Okay, 5 losses is fine. We do actually raise a few broken vessels because we've killed human units. And we will go to the archway, a bit more experience. Not really a lot up for grabs there. But if we go west, we can access Crumbling Tower and a pile of gold just there, so let's do that. And Tribute to Order too. Didn't see what these units are. Have to look out for that. Okay, do we upgrade the thicket? I don't think we do. I mean, I feel like we need to step this up a bit. I think we need to upgrade the Tree Mother as our next priority, even though I would love to research lobbers. I think we really do need to get access to Grunt and start actually using our intended strategy for the map. Okay, let's go to this. So we get a crossbow. Crossbow gives us plus 15 range defense, that's pretty good. Then we go to this, we'll go to this for the experience, which takes us up to level 4. Stonemason, 4+1 stone. Command would also be potentially useful though. But yeah, I will go for Stonemason, and we actually level up again, so we can go for Creation Magic, level 2, or Arcana Magic. We're still using this guy in combat, so I'm going to go for Arcana. And we can actually just sneak through here, but I think we still need to, yeah, take a fight with an assembly of brigands, which is considered worthy. So maybe we don't do that. It does get us some more wood a little bit quicker. Once we pick up Grunt, we should be able to take a fight like this. It should be pretty easy to do. That is definitely a claimable town. Looks like it's already roots. We can see a build site just there, actually. So yeah, we think we push out in that direction. We're going to just waste a couple of turns. Don't like to do it, but I think it makes sense. We waste a couple of turns just to get access a little bit sooner to Grunt. And I will risk spending the Ancient Amber on this because we can see there is a source of Ancient Amber somewhere to our north. Ancient Amber excavation, that is a key map objective. So yeah, we'll spend the Ancient Amber knowing that we can get another source of that later on, and we will end the turn there. Oh, it did cost us wood though, didn't it? So, how are we doing? We need that 15 wood. We could go back. We could take the fight with Honey. He is slightly better. Okay, other things we could do instead. Is there anything that actually gets us what we need a bit sooner? So there's a pile of wood there. And that's guarded by just some wolves. We might actually be able to just take them on. We just loop around that way. Okay, so other upgrades we can go for, I think, nothing for now. Upgraded Thicket, it costs us more wood though, that's the problem. I'm going to resist that. I do want to build momentum as soon as possible, really important to do that in this game, but I think we just want a few extra units. We can actually go for a pretty good stack of Spikers, but Spikers, I think they really get a lot better when you upgrade them to Piercers, just because they have 50% more hit points. If we go for the Broken Vessels, that's probably fine to do actually, because we're not going to raise Broken Vessels from fighting wolves. Yeah, it's risky. They do have Silver Mains, but we have been to the Order Essence Generator, so we are just going to take this fight. I don't think we want to waste any time. I want to get momentum going as soon as possible, so yeah, let's go for this. And we will probably take a few losses. Why would we put the range units out in front? That makes no sense. Okay. So Silver Mains are actually a little bit slower, but they're also much scarier. Okay, so they ignore Zone of Control, which is a problem for our best units. We can drop the Spore Cloud on these two stacks, which I think we're going to have to do, plus, well, we put these at least in our Zone of Control. No, they also ignore Zone of Control, okay. So Silver Mains are just beefier versions of the same thing. I think there's still a way we could keep the Lobbers safe. But yeah, we go for Spore Cloud, damage those two stacks, and these are in fact in deadly range. It's kind of tempting just to go for the attack instead. I think we do. Go for the attack, and we can go for an Earth Block if we want to. We can go for Ethereal Scales. So I believe the way the Spore Cloud works, this is quite an unfortunate thing, I believe it ends at the end of the round rather than at the start of our next turn, which means these will be able to move through the Spore Cloud. That is a bit of a problem for us. But yeah, I think we want to... we can't Earth Block our own Spore Cloud too, which is also unfortunate. Okay, maybe Ethereal Scales. It's a shame these are stealthy, because the spawns would be able to handle them perfectly fine otherwise. I think we just try and protect these, assuming they can reach. So these actually can't reach us, it is the stack of 6 that has to come through. Okay, I'm just going to move to here. So yeah, the Spore Cloud does disappear. Stack of 9 actually has to go for the Broken Vessels, which is pretty good for us. So we only take the 1 loss so far. Okay, I think we do want to take a step up to here. 227 kills. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the Lobbers. Probably will take a loss. Yeah, we don't want to do anything here. Move across to these, so 0 to 2 kills. These have already retaliated. There's not really too much we can do. We can actually miss them, so we'll do that. Try to protect them, and they can still attack. That did nothing, did it? What did I misunderstand about that? Target for any troop becomes... oh, until end of the round. Okay, big mistake. Okay, fine. Alright, so we can dimensional door, but we can't quite go far enough with that. I think we want to kill these off. Get ourselves some momentum too, and we'll move these across. 4 kills, let's do that. These are the next to move. Can we drop the initiative of these by enough? Probably not. We can speed ourselves up at the same time though, so this would be... that would be enough. Yeah. We insect swarm these, drop their momentum, drop their initiative, speed these up. Now they get to go first, so we skip the turn with these. We have taken some really unfortunate losses, but... do we attack them from the high ground? From the low ground even? I think we do. I don't really mind losing broken vessels. I just want to make sure these get killed as soon as possible. So 5 to 9 kills. Let's hit them with this, and let's hit them with this. And then we go for this, and we kill them off. Okay. So some pretty heavy losses, but important that we do get access to Grunt 1 turn sooner. And we get that Seeds of the Mother strategy going. So yeah, we rush to the wood, and we can see this is guarded by outlaws, brigands and poachers, and there is a small habitat just there, undefended, we can't quite reach. But very important, we go for that. Okay, so to upgrade this, we need the 4,000 gold anyway, so we're actually going to get access to 2 wielders next turn, potentially. What can we do with that? So Prowl comes with scouting, which is pretty good, comes with hearts, useful range units, comes with an extra spawn, which is not too important, but we are actually using those, of course. We go for Vigil instead. He comes with a chuck. Some Piercers come with Brood, who also comes with learning, but those units aren't necessarily that useful. Other options, so Lost is more of a kind of main wielder type of wielder. So I don't think we'll go for that. Grow is really good. As far as I can see, there's a bit of a consensus growing, no pun intended, that this guy is perhaps the best wielder of this faction. But I do think late game Grunt might be the best. Flora also a really good choice for a main wielder, but I think possibly not the best choice for a secondary wielder. So I think we go with Prowl. We get the hearts, we get the additional spawn, we get the scouting specialty, which is very important because I haven't played this map before. We do need a lot more gold to really make that work. But yeah, okay, so we can go now for the Lobbers research. Actually, maybe we just do that instead, rather than rush to upgrade our town, as much as I do want to do that. Yeah. I want Lobbers. We'll get our 3rd wielder a bit later. That feels like a decent middle ground. Okay, can we still afford to upgrade this? We can. It costs us stone and wood, which we no longer need because we should get access to a 2nd wielder regardless. So yeah, let's go for this. And we're now producing chuckers out of nowhere, which is amazing for us. Really good units. End the turn there. Very important we don't see anyone coming to attack us because we are still very much building momentum. We're going to have to convert this, I guess. No, actually, let's raise it. Don't see anything here to be converted. Okay, we'll raise it, and we will go and we will grab the gold, and we'll go to this next. And unfortunately that does mean we can't recruit the 2nd wielder just yet. We need to wait 1 turn for that to be raised, but it's fine. A bit of wood there. That's always good to see. And I do want to still upgrade this just for the additional gold income. That's quite important. So if we could just reach that wood, that would have been nice, but never mind. Alright, let's probably end the turn there. We've pretty much upgraded everything we can. We could upgrade this, but it costs us Celestial Ore, which might be better spent elsewhere. We should start to pick up some momentum from the next turn, though. So we go to this. And this has now been finished off. We can upgrade that immediately if we want to. I don't think we do. I think we go at last for Grunt. We did just go to the Watchtower, which is one reason potentially to not rush for the hero with additional scouting radius. So if we upgrade this, we don't have enough to recruit the Wielder, unless we get a bit more unexpected gold from somewhere else. So this gives us 600 gold, and if we go to this, we might have enough to do both. The thing is, we definitely do want Grunt. We want him now. So as you can see, Grunt is a deceased Chalon who has been turned into a vessel by the Roots. Okay, so we're going to pass him the units we can. So he only has 3 slots, which is a bit of a problem, but I wonder if we could take a fight. Outlaws, Brigands, and Poachers. I do want to go for that pretty soon, but I think it's not super urgent. This is clearly a ledge, so we actually can't get to the north from here. So maybe we actually go south. Although we do want to take some of this stuff. Okay, let's grab the units at least. The most useful units. And we could go south. Take this too. Yeah, we could go south. We can grab the upgrades and then we can start taking a lot more fights. That's a big power spike. I do wonder if we could do this. It says it's risky. I feel it could be done. So, question is, can we afford that upgrade this turn? So that's a bit more there. Some actual free resources to pick up here. Actually pretty much unguarded. That's a lot of good stuff too. Okay, so I think we do want to stay in this area. Is there anything for us to interact with? It buffs us. Any kind of permanent buff would be perfect. So we cannot yet recruit an additional wielder. We will go for the upgrade on the Tree Mother, which is additional income, plus we get access to potentially the womb. We need the morass first. So morass is going to cost us 5 Glimmerweave, so we need to find some Glimmerweave from somewhere. That's another key objective. There is potentially a little bit we could get from here. But yeah, very important. We want to start recruiting those Seeds of the Mother as soon as possible. It's going to be extremely powerful for us. So Seeds of the Mother, really good for essence generation. Problem is, Grunt right now is not very good. He has not yet had any level ups. I wouldn't necessarily bet on him to be a great choice in this fight, unless we can pick up that additional wielder. But yeah, there's no way we're going to get more gold this turn. I think that's pretty much impossible. Yeah. I mean, if we can break through this, we'd be okay. I don't really want to risk it though. It is so important though. So important we get this. So what are our chances of actually getting a second wielder? So it's going to cost us 3,000 gold. We are going to gain 2,200. I think Slug Carcass does give us gold. If it doesn't, that's a big problem. Okay, well Grunt doesn't have too much movement regardless, so I think we hedge our bets by staying here. We end the turn there. And thankfully still no sign of our opponents moving. Have to be conscious we are pretty much surrounded on all sides. Okay, does this give us the gold we seek? Plus 900 gold, okay, that actually does. But we would have to pick someone who provides units that we already kind of need, so we already kind of have space for, sorry. So Prowl does give us hearts, but we don't really have space for those. We need units we do have space for. But perhaps there's no real option in hindsight. Let's see, so which stat could we give up? We don't want to give up 4 lobbers. We can't use chuckers if we have lobbers, so actually this makes almost no difference on reflection. But yeah, if we go for Prowl, we do at least get spawns. Literally 1 spawn. 2 hearts. No, we won't go for 2 hearts. We're just going to pick her up. I'm sure 1 unit won't make any difference, but yeah, we need to strengthen this guy up. Let's do it. I think our essence generation will save us ultimately. So we're going to have these in the back, we're going to have these to support, and we're going to have these out front. And yeah, their poachers can cause us some problems, but they have to get to us first. In the meantime, we generate a lot of essence. This setup looks okay. Okay, so they rush forwards. We can get 1 to 4 kills immediately on them. If we take a couple of steps back, let's actually just check this out. So 4 movement, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we move back with the Seeds of the Mother, we can keep those safe. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. They cannot reach the lobbers, so the lobbers can safely attack this turn. Yeah, I think we pull back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're gonna try here. No, this doesn't quite work. It's probably fine because our initiative is good. So these come a little bit closer. They go for aim. But yeah, these units should only be able to move 1 hex, but because of our choice of wielder, we can actually move 2, and we can go for clouded vision, although we don't need to just yet. So yeah, now none of them can reach us. And these could attack us from range, but we can go for clouded vision, which I think we should just go ahead and do. Okay, these move next. Actually, nothing is in range, so for that reason, let's pull back. So we can see we're embraced, which means we will only take 50% of the usual damage as long as we stay here. Okay, these two cannot reach us. Let's just skip this turn. We can go for Spore Cloud. It's not worth it. Yep, so they're scorned, which means they will take damage each turn they stay there. And this is one thing that this wielder can do that works really well. We can now go for Grasping Roots. So what we do is we cast it on them. Now they are stuck in place until our next turn. So we'll weaken them a bit. Although actually we don't really need to. We'll go for these instead. So yeah, they're stuck in place. They try to move, they can't because of the Grasping Roots of the Seed of the Mother. Okay, let's take a step forward. 3 to 7 kills, that's not too bad. These do get to move pretty soon. Let's go for Clouded Vision again. And let's just go for this attack. So we take 2 losses in response, that's fine. We finish that stack off. These have to move in order to attack. Now we can just go for Grasping Roots on this again, and they can't really do anything to us. Pretty much completely stuck in place, and in fact, we can just kind of cycle that around now. So these units I would like to kill off. Problem is we can't get through the zone of control of the Brigands very easily. I wonder what I could do with Quicken. So with Quicken I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, that obviously doesn't work. I just really do want to go for those units. They do get to move pretty soon. So we could go for Mist to protect our lobbers at the very least. They've got aim ability, but they've not gone for it yet. So Clouded Vision, would that keep us safe? So they got a range of 6. We can reduce their deadly range so that our Seeds of the Mother at least would be safe from deadly range. That's probably worth doing. And then we move these away as well. And then I think we will get 1 additional kill on these. And yeah, the Seeds of the Mother can take the shot from those, that won't be a problem. We just skip the turn. Those are held in place, we just grasp them once again, and we will weaken these a little bit, but before we do, what can we do just to cause them some problems? Additional range resistance, let's go for it on those, and let's attack with these. So yeah, they are forced to go for the shot on the Seed of the Mother, which doesn't really do too much, and we can now bring these in. 2 to 4 kills, I think we still stay back. I would really like to go for these, but the positioning is just slightly unfortunate. Yeah, we just keep grasping these. They are in deadly range. Yeah, while we're doing this, we're generating lots of essence of all types, because Seed of the Mother generates 1 of each type of essence. Boiling Blood will weaken these a little bit over time, let's go for that. And yeah, we don't need to worry about the Brigands. Take 1 loss there. Just going to skip this turn. They go for another attack. Okay, let's keep grasping these. Slow these down. grasp them again. Then we can get 1 to 2 kills from these. I think we should instead... We can pacify it for reduced damage, we can clouded vision, which I think is still a good choice, and we can reduce its range even more. Pretty sure that does stack. Okay, and with that being done, so Breath of the Phoenix, it's massively overkill, 60 damage. I will do it though. Because yeah, its other stack can't do anything to us. So they are grasped, we skip the turn. Continue to grasp these, they're getting damaged by the roots every turn. Go for this attack. You skip your turn, you grasp them once again, you attack. Go for Acid Cloud, do a bit of damage. Speed this up, we've already won. So yeah, there we see immediately, even though the Seed of the Mother is quite a passive unit, it does help us win that fight with not actually too many losses. Now, these choices are interesting. I like to go for... we do need to Reap the Harvest, ultimately we do. But I think we go with Command for now, because yeah, that does give us access to those 7 units. But yeah, we see immediately how useful the Seed of the Mother was in that fight, completely won it for us. Stop those brigands being able to do anything. Okay, you grab the gold. And if we go south through these, this is... Tell me what it is. Pure brigands, all out brigands. It's considered risky for this. Bear in mind, of course, if we slow them down, we can hold at least one of their stacks in place using Seeds of the Mother. So, importantly, we have claimed the Ancient Amber Excavation. Super important that we do that. We need the Morass next, which requires wood and gold. We're pretty close. Let's grab the Bear Ribcage, remind ourselves what that does. So, +6 defense, +1 HP, really amazing for those weaker units. And we've got a couple of other things too, so Glim Gloves. Spell damage resistance, really powerful. Helmet of the Veneers, pretty weak. But yeah, that's actually very good. Okay, so over here, I think we do want access to the Umbrage. So for this we need a Burial Mound and a Drudger. And then we can start producing the Terrors in our 3rd building slot. We will need a rally point somewhere to really make that work. So the thing that's immediately useful in terms of actual income is the Drudger, which gives us stone. Which is actually not that useful to us because we don't have that much that we do with stone. But I do wonder if we just go for it. Over in this town, of course, we probably don't have a way to build the Morass this turn. We can just find a little bit of accessible wood. Accessible gold even. There's not really too much. Yeah, if we go for this fight, that is archers, rangers, and militia, so not really the types of units that Seed of the Mother is going to do that well against. Can't bind them in place. We could try rushing them with spawns and broken vessels. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a great fight for us. Actually, we can go for this pouch of gold. Can we actually reach that? No. Oh, but this is all pretty much up for grabs. I didn't realize there's a way down there. Much easier than I thought. So we've got a lumber camp there, that is potentially quite important. So cutthroats, outlaws, and poachers. That's all doable. That's actually more important, I think, than going south. Even though there are some units we can pick up, we can take these kind of lower grade fights pretty quickly. As the vessel took control over the lands, the roots spread. Okay, and we see we do get really good line of sight with this Wilder. This is actually considered doable. Nornor and Crone guarding the Mystic Hermit. I can't remember what that does. I'm just going to move towards the treasure chest. We, I think, can go for something this turn. We should go for something this turn just to continue building momentum. I think upgrading this would be nice. We just need more wood. In order to get more wood, we can take on the brigands. I feel like that's the most useful thing we can do, actually, despite what I said before. So, stack of 13, it would be lovely to bind those in place 1 hex away. These up in the back. Yeah, this works. Okay, we get to move first. We're going to take a step back. Trigger the symbiosis by moving here. Then all 3 of theirs get to move. So the key thing is we don't want to let them get right up against us. We want to make sure they stay at least 2 hexes away. So stack of 13, actually, we are safe from. Stack of 11, we are now safe from. So we can bind the stack of 11. Stack of 13 doesn't actually get close enough for us to be able to bind them. But yeah, this seems like a pretty good position for us. Actually considered outside range. We will just slow these down a bit. I don't think it gains us too much. It's a shame we can't attack. Is this lower down? Can't really tell. I think just have to skip the turn. Okay, so they're scorned and we can bind them in place. Stack of 13 has not yet moved. I wonder if there's something we can do. So we could try to save up for repel or something. We need 7 Arcana for that. So this is one sad thing about the Seed of the Mother. Being immune to magic, it would be amazing if we could strengthen Essence on that unit. Of course, because it generates 1 of each, but yeah, we're not able to benefit from our own options there, as stack of 13 does come closer. They are actually in deadly range, which is nice. Let's go for this attack, and we could send in the fungi and go for the spawn cloud. Problem is, we don't want to get near to this stack of 11, which is currently completely irrelevant. So, other spell options. We could go for an earth block. I don't know if that really holds them far enough away. Let's at least skip this round. So we go to the new round, and yeah, this spot would be lovely, but we don't want to be hit by 11 of those. Don't have enough Arcana to really stop this bigger stack, but we can at least drop their initiative till after the Seeds of the Mother move. And then we'll take 1 step forward, just so that they can't get past us without moving through our zone of control. Stack of 11 is next to move, but is bound. Stack of 3 can do what it likes, but I don't think we're too worried about that. Yep, so we take 1 loss, that's fine. Now, I think we will... So let's actually have a look. So if we slow them down slightly more, we'll get Order and Creation from this, and we'll get 1 Arcana from this. So it gives us 6 Arcana. We need 7 for Repel. Yeah, might be better off going for Pacify or something. I think we Insect Swarm them again, buy ourselves a little bit more time, and then reevaluate. So we grasp these. They get to move next now, but we can slow them down some more. Then we go for this hit. Then these are not currently getting Symbiosis, so we do want to move them in closer. Yeah, as expected, we just have the 6 Arcana Essence. We do have 9 Order. Yeah, I think we Pacify out of these choices. Pacify these, and just gonna try and weaken them a little bit. I'm not too worried about what they can do to me. So yeah, they take 2 losses on those. Okay. This stack now can get 2 to 5 kills. Stack of 10 moves next, but they're bound in place. I'm just gonna go for this. So yeah, they now both take damage from Seeds of the Mother. We're gonna hold these in place still. We're gonna weaken these some more. And we're going to... Not really sure. I'm never quite sure what to do in these types of situations. We can slow them down some more, but we don't gain too much. We can actually move these in and go for an attack. We can get 1 kill. I don't mind doing that. We will actually raise more of these pretty soon. So I think we do that, but before we do, is there something we can do to make them a little bit easier to kill? Maybe Burst of Strength, but it only lasts till the end of the round. Okay, we'll weaken them a bit with this. And we'll move in, go for the hit. So they take a ton of damage before they can move, and we can now finish them off. Stack of 10 is bound in place, and that is the battle over. In effect. We can just keep binding them. We can go for Rupture. Hit them with this. Skip a few turns, they're still bound in place, bind them some more. Hit them with the Gas Cloud. Double attack on these guys, and we don't even need it. So we are taking some attrition, but that is acceptable losses. We reach level 3, and we do have access to both Reap the Harvest and Arcana, but because this guy doesn't start with any magic skills, I do want to start going down that path as soon as possible. So yeah, we pretty much gain as much as we lose. We grab the wood this turn. I'm trying to remind myself what I wanted that for, so upgraded small habitat. I guess we can't really do that regardless. Other things we could potentially upgrade. Can't afford to go for any of this stuff. So we can upgrade the burial mound if we want to. It's not super important that we do that. Okay, so perhaps we just have to go for something here. So we cannot afford to go for the Drudger. We do need the burial mound here, if we're committed to the Umbridge strategy. Yeah, that's at least something to do. It doesn't actually require that wood. I guess I thought I had more gold. Didn't really look into that properly. We could just find a little bit more gold. We're one step away there. It's fine. We just go for the burial mound. We still opened up the way south. Now, do we actually go south, pick up some more units, or do we take advantage of the fact that we're definitely strong enough to open this up? That gets us more reliable wood income. Wood income, super important for us. We can reach next turn. Wild is still to move. Just this guy, really. I think we go north, and we'll come back when we really need to make a push south, and we can find a reason to do that. I think we're still going for the most important stuff right now, as we already are. I would like to get access to the thicket here, just for additional unit production. But yeah, I think leveling up Grunt is really one of our next priorities. Gonna end the turn there. Okay, so now we can immediately afford to upgrade that if we want to. Before we do, let's move our scout. So we go across to this, +1 creation essence. We go to this, a little bit of gold, a little bit more scouting going on here too. I will actually take the gold. And we can keep going a little bit further. There's a burning bridge there, which hopefully stops our enemies from reaching us for a little while. I think we go back east. And do we take any of these units? No, we don't have space. Okay, so we can upgrade this pretty soon. In order to upgrade this one, again, we need 25 wood, which is some way off still. We do want the womb as soon as possible, which just requires the morass and a lot of gold. So yeah, let's start building that immediately. That's way more important than anything else. We can still afford to upgrade the small habitat, so let's do that too, and we can still go for the Drudger in order to get access to the Umbridge. So yeah, we pretty much achieved everything we would have wanted to achieve this turn already, and then we go up to this for the additional wood income, which we know is super important for this faction. It's considered a risky fight. We know we've managed things like this in the past, so let's just go for it. So range units in the back. It's mainly the poachers I'm worried about. But we'll see what we can do. We do gain more broken vessels from this fight too. It is the poachers up at the top, unfortunately, but they have to move in order to shoot. So cutthroats there are inspired. You take the one loss here. Ah, perfect. So the cutthroats are already in perfect position to be bound in place. Okay, nothing currently in range. We'll weaken these next round. And now this stack can reach us, but it's not really going to do too much damage to us. Yeah, not too worried about that. Do we just let them move in, or do we try to protect ourselves a little bit more? So 15 damage on these doesn't get a kill. These things do 5 to 7 damage each. We'll probably take a loss to the spawns. We could go for Ethereal Scales, because I don't really mind if they attack the Seed of the Mother. We got 143 hit points. I will just protect these. Probably overkill, but let's do it. Ah, they actually don't move. Don't move where I wanted them to move. That's unfortunate. So I can actually pull these back and bind the Outlaws instead. That doesn't really make sense to me. I will take a step back, so we take a little bit of damage there. Yeah, we can bind these and then try to move the spawns away if we want to. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to do that. Okay, we move these in. Finish these off, and now what can we do to slow these down? So they got the 4 movement, that's the problem. We can actually go for Entangle. But if we do so, we can no longer afford to go for Clouded Vision on the other stack. I think we do want to Entangle though. Yeah, we're gonna do that, and you stay where you are. Yeah, we do take a few losses there, that's a problem. So we can't give this thing extra movement, which means we can't move into the Cutthroat's range. This kind of complicates things. Okay, let's make sure they can't do what they did again. So 0 to 1 kills from these. Let's go for the attack. And we can go for this attack if we want to. We can start surrounding them. 1 to 2 kills. It's not really worth doing. Send these in, 2 to 5 kills. That is a lot better. We'll drop their initiative. And then we'll decide later. So there comes our next batch of Essence from the Seed of the Mother. Not an awful lot we can do with that though. I will edge slightly closer, because we're still protecting all of our units by doing that. Now 0 to 1 kills. What have we got? We got Clouded Vision on this. I think that'll have to do, and then we let them come closer. Yeah, we're just going to take a hit here, I think. So there we go, 6 losses there. Another hit comes in, so we need to reinforce pretty soon. What we could do is we could go for Repel pretty soon, just to force them through our zone of control, but no, I don't think that helps us that much. This lasts to the end of the round. Okay, let's take a step forward. 0 to 2 kills. Do we go for Burst of Strength instead? No, I think maybe Aggression. Well, what we could actually do is we could bind them in place pretty soon, but they're already quite weakened. So yeah, this fight is not quite gone to plan. We can go for the Repel. I don't think we need to. So we're going to hit these with Clouded Vision once again. And then I think we just weaken these. And we hit them. What happened there? I need to watch that back. I'm not sure what happened. That was our best unit, and we can't produce more of them. Well, we're gonna have to just brawl now. Okay, let's go for Ethereal Scales, and let's hit this, take the retaliation. Starting to take heavier losses now that we don't have the additional protection. Okay, 1 to 3 kills. Let's go for Psychic Spear. Slow them down. And now should be able to kill them off. Okay, well that was obviously a pretty huge setback. I think we do want March. We'll take these units at least, and we do, I guess, have one spot for another type of unit, but how do we get through here? I have to push through this, I guess. Oh, there we go, there's the rat braces in the way. Okay, we're gonna have to claim the lumber camp next turn. Luckily, both of these towns are currently active and doing things. I think with that setback of losing our Seed of the Mother, we have found an obvious point to end this episode, and we'll have to recover in the next one. So once again, do check the players link in the description for all further parts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 2.